Hi, let's talk about War Mongrels. Now, these are my honest opinions after completing the game, so it's a little bit late this review, but I still wanted to share my ideas on it. Now, basically, the game is an isometric game, much like, for example, Commandos, if you're old school like me, like from 1998, but it also can be compared to Desperados 3 or Shadow Tactics. Now, I honestly really like the game. There are a lot of great things that War Mongrels has going for it. For example, the graphics are amazing. I think it's one of the probably the best looking isometric games on the market right now. There are basically really good stories. They are not amazing, but good enough to make actually all feel worthwhile. The cinematics are not that amazing. They aren't completely fully rendered, but it isn't a AAA game either. So honestly, they are animated. They aren't just moving pictures. They are completely animated, and I love it for that. They really paint this horrific situation that they find themselves in. The voice acting is very good in my opinion. I was kind of surprised to have the voice of Gerald from The Witcher 3 appear in the character's Ewald.
Expect me to break your neck for deceiving my friend.
Now, the game actually is a completely, at this point, 33 hours. It kind of depends on how long that you take playing the game. I've seen people finish it in 30 or to 35. I was somewhere around the 33 mark. But it also kind of depends if you are playing as a stealth game or actually as like some kind of action RPG. Now, basically, you can just do completely stealth, kill people very stealthily. Nobody ever knew you were there until they find the piles of body you hit in the bushes. But if you just feel like just ripping through the game, you can also just activate the combat mode just by pressing C on your keyboard, and suddenly you can just shoot everybody to hell with your guns like an action RPG like Diablo, for example. Now, I have to admit it wasn't really my cup of tea for the very simple reason that I prefer stealth, and on the other hand, I also found the aiming does tend to feel really weird and the use of the weapons doesn't really feel impactful in my opinion. But where War Mongrels really struggles is basically the technical side. Now, there are a few FPS problems. There is nothing game-breaking during the gameplay itself, but during some of the cinematics or just when my first two characters arrived in the first mission, they were riding in a truck and I constantly had FPS issues there. I've also read on some forums that some people, their saves have been corrupted due to latest updates, though I haven't really experienced that myself, luckily. And of course, there are a lot of problems with the multiplayer. Now, the game offers multiplayer and there are somehow no dedicated servers, private lobbies and stuff like that. I feel like the multiplayer isn't right now in a really great place. So if you want to play this game, I would just play it for the single player alone. And after that, maybe just see a little bit later on after a few more updates if the game's multiplayer has been fixed, because there are a few problems with finding players to play against, matchmaking and stuff like that. But all in all, I really enjoy the game. The game has a lot of collectibles. The missions are really well thought through. The enemies are not stupid, which I really like, especially in these types of games. Stealth is a valid option, combat is a valid option. It has a lot of things going for it, but there are a few updates necessary to fix a few of the technical problems and of course the multiplayer. But either way, that's my opinion. If you've bought the game, please let me know in the comments down below what you think. I'm really curious, because on the forums people seem to have mixed opinions like they always do. But guys, I want to thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.